Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Teddy Bear. A 38-year-old bodybuilder named Dennis, who is painfully shy, still lives with his mom, and is really just having a hard time finding a girlfriend or a wife or just someone he can spend his life with. He tries to go on a date early in the, right at the beginning of the film, with this woman who owns a tanning salon, and it just doesn't work out. He's too shy. It's a really awkward date, unfortunately for him. He lives with his mom's really domineering. She's a very difficult person. He's grown accustomed to this, but he's really lonely, and he has a friend, I believe it's a friend, who married a woman from Thailand, and they go to, I don't think it's really like a wedding, but it's like a celebration for them getting together. He starts to think about maybe going to Thailand and finding a girl there. But his mom's really against the relationship that this guy has with this woman from Thailand, and he decides, she just tells his mom he's going to Germany for a week for a bodybuilding competition, although he's really going to Thailand to find a girl. Dennis is told to meet this one guy and he'll introduce him to various women. The women are kind of just overtly sexual, and Dennis is very shy and timid. Dennis is a huge bodybuilder, and I think his physique really adds an extra dimension to the film because it's like he doesn't fit in, because no one looks like him. Normal society, I feel like, feels uncomfortable to Dennis because he's so massive, like he's monstrously large. Like there's a point where his mom's giving him a hard time, like, why was your phone off, where were you, while he was on this date earlier in the film, and she's so tiny compared to like this large man. He goes to meet these people and these women, and he meets this guy, and he meets the first one and it doesn't work out, and he meets another one and he just doesn't like it, and then he works out at a gym in Thailand and he meets a woman who runs a gym and other bodybuilders there. And it seems like he's kind of found someone in his own world. And I think he realizes the way he would have set up to meet a woman was kind of false. These men were introduced to these women and then they got to leave Thailand and live wherever. He finds that disingenuous. And he finds a real, the thing is he finds a real genuine relationship with this woman who runs the gym. Like, it's not set up, like he meets her. It's, typical, like, it's kind of how anyone would go on a date with someone who they meet casually. He goes back to Denmark in this suburb outside of Copenhagen. He sees his mom again, and he first kind of lets on that he was still in Germany and he didn't do well in the bodybuilding competition. But then he tells her where he was, and he tells her he met this woman from Thailand. And his mother is so kind of offended by it, obviously because of racism, and she won't let it go, although he's trying to move on with his life. And I think she looks at it as the way that he originally planned to do it rather than what he had actually done, and how this was really an organic relationship. This wasn't something forced like that was supposed to happen. And I think she looks at it as the way that he originally planned to do it rather than what he had actually done, and how this was really an organic relationship. This wasn't something forced like that was supposed to happen. I was really kind of taken aback by this film. It reminds me a lot of the film Marty with Ernest Borgnine, just because it's so sensitive, and it follows this guy who, is older, is living with his mom, can't really find the right girl for him. Kim Cold, who plays Dennis, he's massive. I mean, he could probably kill someone very easily, and beat the shit out of any guy, and people don't have to take shit from him. But he's very sensitive and introspective. He's so physically different from everyone in the film. It just makes it look like he doesn't belong. And when he feels uncomfortable and feels like he shouldn't be around all these people, he can't find his way in the world. And it makes so much more sense because of the way he is physically. It makes for a lot of interesting shots visually. He's just a massive guy and he's so big, but the fact that he's so sensitive and such a sweet person contradicts that. There's so many films, and even like something like Paranorman, it talks about not being able to fit in, and I think this is like one of the few films that really like struck a chord with me. The fact it's called Teddy Bear, which is never mentioned in the film, and he's just such a he's such a softie, he's such a nice kind of gentle giant. When I saw the trailer, I wasn't sure if I wanted to see this, you know, because there's so many films like And Then Something Came and changed their world and everything was different. They'd been in a rut so long, but then they made this one life-altering decision. And it's like, for this film felt so genuine. I wasn't thinking about that kind of film that's such a cliche. Dennis was very good to his mom, and he was a very good man, you know. I don't think he could have gone off with one of those girls that he was supposed to go off with. I just don't think he could do that. He really he's a true romantic. When he falls in love with the girl who works at the gym, it feels right. It's very much an indie foreign movie of its time, the way it was shot, the way it's scored, and everything. But it comes off very genuine to me. This film really does pull on my heartstrings, and I really do feel for Dennis as this like huge bodybuilder. You know, it reminds me of kind of, I always hear about King Kong and kind of how men always feel like, you know, we're kind of big oafs and women are very, you know, perfect and pretty and stuff. Definitely the casting of Kim Cole as Dennis plays into that as well. It's such a kind of well-made, genuine, foreign introspective movie, and it's kind of, I found it a little refreshing. This might be within its own little genre, and it's a great example of its genre, but sometimes that's exactly like what I really like about going to the movies. So if you have seen Teddy Bear and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.